connection to Epstein, as shown in those emails, according to Epstein, is unsavory. And it's not good.
Is that new information that he knew Jeffrey Epstein? Is it new information that Trump excommunicated him from Mar-a-Lago? Is it the only new information that we got this week off those emails was that somebody from the New York Times was advising Jeffrey Epstein, and we learned tonight from the Washington Post that Jeffrey Epstein was programming Democratic members of Congress. We didn't learn anything we didn't already know about Donald Trump, which was Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump, and now Democrats are aligning themselves with Jeffrey Epstein because Orange Man bad.
CNN tried to spin this segment into another Trump-Epstein insinuation, but Scott Jennings shuts it down almost instantly. He points out the obvious. Nothing in these emails implicates Trump, and the only real revelations involve Democrat staffers and media figures advising Epstein directly. That's why the panel keeps circling emotion instead of facts. The narrative simply doesn't hold. Jennings doesn't argue, he just lays out the truth they hoped viewers would miss. And by the way, welcome to World Insight Hub, where we cut through the noise with calm, clear analysis. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Now let's watch how Jennings dismantles the spin in real time.
You don't care that the president might be a pedophile? You don't care that the
pedophile.
You don't.
No evidence of that.
No, there's no evidence of it, but that's what. No, it's not insane. That's what we've been talking about all week.
There is no evidence of that. We are not going to.
No, but that's what the emails have been talking about. That's what we've been talking about all week. That's why he doesn't want to release the files. And to say that nobody cares is kind of absurd. If the president is a pedophile, we should know about it, and people would care about that.
All right, no one is suggesting that President Trump is a pedophile. The people that do care about it, though, and consistently get lost in it, are the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, who then just wrote a letter to members of Congress saying, think about if this was you, and think about if this was your child when you're taking this vote next week.
Do you think
I am saying that because...
Do you think the victims would agree with Donald Trump asking the Department of Justice to look into people that may have been involved in this and got away with
Scott,
it?
it would have been nice if he did it when he got into office.
I know they can speak for themselves. I do know that Democrat, even Ro Khanna, said, everyone, investigate it.
Well, there seems to be a lot of anger about Donald Trump saying, well, maybe these people need to be looked into. Why?
Right. I think where the interest is if these people are looked into, a member of Congress actually said it today, we don't have time to run it, but if these people are looked into, does that mean that Donald Trump can be looked into as well?
Is there a shred of evidence he ever did anything untoward?
Is there a shred of evidence?
No. About anybody else? Is there a shred of evidence? No. All right, same answer for the other people.
Stand by my friend. Stacey, thank you.
A little bit, because we are talking about bananas, many of which come from the Caribbean. We see the president putting ships into the Caribbean, bombing boats that are coming from Venezuela, perhaps, without any. We don't know what's on the boats because we bombed them, and so we have no idea.
Have we reduced the supply of bananas?
There are no more boats.
We don't know if there are children or girlfriends or anybody else on those boats.
I'm sorry,
because we are blowing up boats without having any real sense about what's happening inside those boats.
You think there's bananas, children, and girlfriends on the boats?
We have no idea. The point is, we have no idea what's on the boats. And you know who else is upset about it?
Those are
British
drug-running boats.
Well, in this case, these are narco-terrorists. These are terrorist organizations. If Al-Qaeda had a boat full of chemical weapons that was going to kill 100,000 people, you'd sink it too.
Scott, you'd sink it. The only one at this table
I know, you're very important. You don't have to give us you're very important.
To go take out drug boats like this. Do you know how you take them out?
Like
in the Coast Guard.
We didn't launch a missile into Jeffrey Epstein's house when we thought he was suspected of pedophilia. You went and arrested him.
Okay, how's it working out? How's it working out for the American people? How's it working out for all the hundreds of thousands of people who have died,
Scott,
from fentanyl and whatever?
I want to see these people.
What principles of national security allow you to lead people to believe that you can just let international terrorists with effectively chemical weapons into our country ad nauseum?
Tell me about the principle of proportionality.
I mean, honestly,
tell me about the principle of
tell me about the principle of deterrence, because I'll guarantee you they're not banana boats, they're not girlfriend boats, they're not whatever you said.
There may in fact be drugs on the boat. I'm not making the argument,
and they're not going to be given free rein in our hemisphere.
I'm not making the argument there aren't drugs on the boats. I'm making the argument that the president. I'm making the argument.
When you have British intelligence saying they don't want to share anymore because they are concerned that it is illegal, what is being done, that is a problem.
You think I give a rip what some country in Europe thinks about us policing our own
Do you
backyard?
care what
No,
the,
no,
do you
I-
care
I
what the
want-
military
people who
believes?
actually do
Admiral
care
Halsey
is the former
left his.
commander of Southern Command was on with me this week.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry, you want to make fun of James Stavridis?
No, I'm telling you that we have a commander-in-chief who promised the American
it, but-
people he was going to police our backyard of these narco-terrorists, and that's what he's doing.
But there's,
the
I don't
policy
pretend to have
but
expertise
the
in it, but I
policy
do lean on
choices-
people who
The
do.
policy choices are made by the elected commander-in-chief, not by bureaucrats, not by formers. It's made by the elected representative of the people, and that's
And
the
not by
president.
Commander-in-chief
another-
doesn't get to
Jennings
make
said
up the
it.
rules.
Okay.
What this entire exchange revealed is simple. The media isn't trying to get clarity, they're trying to get a clip. Every angle they pushed collapsed under basic scrutiny. Jennings exposed that the panel had no evidence, no new facts, and no consistency. First, the Epstein narrative. Every time the conversation returned to reality, it showed the same pattern. Trump cut Epstein off, cooperated with investigators, and wasn't implicated in any wrongdoing. Meanwhile, the only new names tied to Epstein came from Democratic circles and media networks pretending to be neutral. That's why the room got uncomfortable the moment Jennings asked for proof instead of speculation. Then came the pivot to Trump's cartel crackdown, a desperate attempt to redirect the conversation. And once again, the argument fell apart. The critics couldn't explain why targeting narco-terrorist vessels was suddenly controversial. They couldn't explain why fentanyl networks moving enough poison to wipe out towns deserve hesitation. They couldn't explain why Europe's opinion outweighs America's security. Jennings simply reminded them of the truth. Enforcing the law is not extremism, and defending the border is not chaos. It's the job of a commander-in-chief. In the end, the panel showed exactly why this debate keeps resurfacing. When facts don't favor them, they shift to emotion. When that fails, they shift to hypotheticals. But conservatives understand the core issue. Accountability, national security, and truth should never bend to political convenience. But what do you think? Did Jennings expose the cracks in their argument, or was this just another example of selective outrage collapsing under pressure? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. And if you found this breakdown valuable, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to World Insight Hub. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching World Insight Hub. Stay sharp, stay curious,